Hey guys, it's Code Zealot, and today I have a tutorial for you guys on how to do raycasting with spells in vanilla Minecraft. Now, as we're going to be talking about spells and raycasting, I'm also going to be showcasing you guys the community server here. This is a server for all those people who are subscribed to my YouTube channel or are a part of my Discord server. So if you guys want to go ahead and log into this server at any time, the link is down in the description below. Alright, so what we're going to be looking at today are 3 spells in particular. We're going to be looking at a Fireball spell, and a Lightning spell, and a Levitate spell. Now the Levitate's not really raycasting, but I thought I might as well show you guys that since I'm on the server here and we're talking about the Mage class. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so before I show you guys the code on how this works, I want to go ahead and show you the spells in action. So the first one we're going to look at here is the Fireball. So if I see that zombie over there, I can go ahead and zap him with some of my mana using the Fireball spell. There you go. I'm throwing fireballs at this zombie with raycasting. And so pretty much what that means is wherever I'm looking, when I cast the spell, it shoots the spell as if it was like a light ray. It goes in a direct path from where I'm standing to where I'm looking. So you can see over there's a skeleton. I can shoot him right here underneath the trees if I can get my aim good enough. But I'm pretty bad. So anyways, check out the mana at the top of the screen. You'll see as I cast the spells here, it goes down, and eventually if I run out of mana I can no longer cast the spell. So if I go over here to the mana altar, I can get some more mana back, and that will let me use more spells. Let's go ahead and fry that pig. There we go. Okay, so that is the Fireball spell. Now we're going to go ahead and use the Lightning Bolt, which is a lot more fun, especially when you do it on a pig, because if you guys know anything about Minecraft, when you hit a pig with lightning, you get a zombie pigman. So there you go. Now, a quick plug here, you'll see on the screen, there's a hydration and a sanity meter displayed, and that's for another data pack I'm working on. It's going to be called something like Survival Realism, and it's based off of Don't Starve Together. If you guys have played that video game, you know what kind of features that pack's going to have. So, I won't talk about it anymore here. That's for another video. So let's do a few more of these lightning bolts just to get a good view of what this looks like. And I'm going to get up here where I have some more pigs and go ahead and start shooting at them. Now, if I shoot near where they are, you can see that it doesn't hit them. But if I hit them with a ray, as if I shoot exactly on their location, then they are hit by the spell. So there you go. So those are the 2 raycasting spells that I wanted to show you guys, and I'll save the Levitate for the very end in case you're not interested in that, since it's not really the topic of this video. So let's go ahead now and check out the code that makes these spells work. So here we are in Sublime Text, and I'll go ahead and go into the data pack that we're talking about, which is the class system, and I'll go through some of these files here very quickly. Now, this is not a video on every single file in this data pack. That would take forever to talk about, and so I'm just going to show you the spells that we looked at today, which are the Fireball and the Lightning Bolt. So let's go ahead and look at this first. Now, this is the file, the function that runs every time I cast Fireball. And I'll talk to you guys a little bit about how I've done this. You can see it on the screen, and eventually, hopefully very soon, I'll be releasing the first version of this data pack, which will have just 3 classes and maybe 3 spells each, and a few other features like the RPG races that we were talking about in other videos, like the dwarfs and all that, and the passive bonuses you get from that. So that's going to be coming out, and of course, once that's out, you guys can download these files and flip through them yourself and kind of mess around with them and figure out how you can use these to sort of play around and make your own spells and do things like that. Now, I do have plans. I don't know if I ever get around to it, but I would like to make a very simple program that lets you pretty much make spells without any code. You just answer certain questions like what kind of spell you want to make, and then it spits out a text file with all of this stuff in it for you that you just add to your own data pack. So anyways, I don't know if we'll get around to that. Remind me in the comments in future videos if I haven't done it, and I'll see what I can do. So the first thing we do is we execute as all players who are a mage. And then we say if this person, if this entity has more than 10 mana and they have in their inventory the spell book that we're going to be using, then go ahead and give them a tag, which is Fireball Cast. Now, everything is done at this point with this tag. So pretty much what this first command does, it just looks for a mage who has enough mana to cast the spell and is going to be casting the spell with a proper spell book. And what that means is that you can't just like take an enchanted book and throw it on an anvil and be able to make this spell, because it has this custom MBT tag here that keeps players from doing that. Now, once we've found that person, we give them that fireball cast tag, and then we use that tag to do everything we need to do for the spell. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to execute at the position of the player who is casting fireball. And we're going to use this position here to pretty much specify where we want the ray to come from. And then we're going to call a function, which is the ray for this actual spell. Now, I want to give credit here to Cloudwolf because I'm using his one command Raycast. If you guys have not learned anything about Raycasting yet and have not watched a good tutorial, please do go over to his channel and check out his video on Raycasting in a single command in Minecraft. It's an excellent video, and Cloudwolf's a great guy. You should check out his channel, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Now, let's look at the ray here. Since we're calling this function, let's see what's inside of this function here. Inside of Fireball Ray, we have pretty much my tweaks on Cloudwolf's Raycast. So I'm using Particle Flame here for the fireball, and then I'm using a slightly different method here. What I'm doing is I'm summoning area effect clouds, and I'm giving them a duration of 1, and I'm giving them custom MBT of fireball. And what I do with these area effect clouds is pretty much what I'm going to do here is I'm going to execute at where these things are, where these area effect clouds are, and then at that position I'm going to run these commands here. And what I'm doing essentially is I'm summoning a fireball or a fire charge or whatever you want to call it above the head of an entity, and I'm giving it direction, which is pretty much motion, and this makes it fall down on top of their heads, which makes them catch on fire. So that's why I'm using these area effect clouds, because what I'm doing in the Raycast is this function will run, and if it doesn't find these things here, like Cloudwolf had specified in his video, an armor stand or an item frame or a player, then it'll continuously run this function over and over, incrementing where the ray is by 1 block until it eventually finds one of the things it's supposed to hit, or it goes into the void or off into where the game can no longer track it. So I know it sounds super complicated, but it's really not once you get your mind around it. Pretty much the point of this is I'm going to be using the particle flame, which is completely optional to make it look better. I'm going to be using the summon command to make an area effect cloud appear at the position that I want it to, and then I'm going to pretty much summon one over and over and over and over 1 block ahead until I eventually hit the target that I want to hit. Now, let's look at some of these other commands that are in this file here. Another thing that I'm doing here is I'm executing at the area effect cloud another command, which is execute at all entities, and then I make some tweaks here. I don't want to do it on an area effect cloud because that would basically crash the game, because that's going to be wherever this is continuously running. I don't want to do it on an armor stand. I don't want to do it on an item, and I don't want to do it on an item frame or a player, and I also don't want to do it on anyone who is near the entity of small fireball. And I've also decided not to do it on phantoms because of lag issues. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to do the exact same thing I was doing above. I'm going to summon the fire charge. And I decided to use these 2 commands separately, one to target players and one to target entities like mobs, like zombies and spiders and all of that. Now, here's the Raycast that I was talking about. And if you don't understand this, go ahead and watch that video I mentioned before on Cloudwolf's channel. And then the last thing I'm doing here is I'm killing all of the area effect clouds that I have created. And this is to help with the lag on the server. Now, we have had people testing this out on the server. We've had about, 7 or 8 people on at once spamming the spells because I haven't added the cooldowns yet. And we haven't had any issues yet. And I'm running a budget Minecraft server through Beast Node. It's super cheap. So we're running super low spec and we're able to do this. So it is multiplayer compatible. Now, that's the fireball ray. I know that was an awful lot of rambling, but let's go ahead and check out the lightning bolt, and maybe some of this stuff will become a little more clear that we already talked about. So the lightning bolt spell is right here, and I'm still working on how all this is going to be with the actual item, the spell books. But I just put a little command here that helps me easily get the spell book that I want in a comment. And then everything else is the actual spell. So this is not necessary. This just helps me. Now, we're doing the same thing we did last time. We're going to be executing as all players who are a mage, because only mages can cast the spell. And we're going to test if they have enough mana to cast it and if they have the spell book. If they do, we're going to give them the tag of Lightning Bolt Cast. And this is where all the magic happens. Everyone who has Lightning Bolt Cast, we're going to be using the same command as last time to position the ray exactly where we want it. And then we're going to call the ray for this particular spell. I've decided to use, a single file for each spell raycast. I just like the way that is better than having one giant file that has to reference which ray is being cast and then make a decision on which function to call. That's fine too, but this is just my personal preference. So once we've called the function here of Lightning Bolt Ray, we'll be entering into this file, and it's pretty much the same thing as last time. We have a particle just for looks, and then we're going to be doing the same method. We're going to be continuously summoning these area effect clouds in increments of 1 in the direction that the player is facing from the position that we specified in the previous file here, right here, which makes it come out of pretty much where our face is. And then we're going to be doing all of the things with it that we want to do. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be executing at the area effect cloud, which has the tag of Lightning Bolt, because remember, we also have area effect clouds being shot out by every player who is casting Fireball at the exact same time. And so that's why this tag is super important here on our summon command, because it says every single area effect cloud that has this tag is a Lightning Bolt raycast and not a Fireball, etc. Then we're going to run execute at all players within 2 blocks of that ray, and who do not have the tag of Lightning Bolt Cast, we're going to summon lightning. Now, the reason I have this here is because I don't want to worry about, if I'm shooting a ray and therefore an area effect cloud is being summoned right in front of my face with Lightning Bolt, I don't want to zap myself. And so since I have the tag of Lightning Bolt Cast at this time, I can't be hit by my own Lightning Bolt spell. Now, the next thing here is going to be execute at all entities, area effect cloud, tag Lightning Bolt, and we're going to run another execute, and this time we're going to be doing it at the entities and not as all players. And here you can see all my specific settings for that. I'm not going to run through that over. It's pretty much the same as the Fireball. And then if we find somebody who is an entity, such as a zombie or a skeleton, pretty much an entity not listed here in these conditions that we don't want to target, we're going to go ahead and summon that Lightning Bolt. Now here is the raycasting pretty much continued. We're going to be running this over and over and over until eventually our ray goes off of the game's memory where it can't track it anymore, or it hits something that it's going to zap, or something else causes the ray to not continue that we've specified here in our file. After that, same thing as last time, we're going to go ahead and kill all entities that are lightning bolts just to free up some of the memory on our server and not cause a bunch of lag issues. So guys, there you go. Those are the not so complicated files for how this works, but I know it sounds like a lot of rambling and it's a lot to wrap your mind around the first time you see it. So like I said, go ahead and check out that video that Cloudwolf did to learn about his one command raycast. And then once you understand how he's done that, you can see how I've used that raycast command and linked it up here with these area effect clouds to do my own spin on how to do raycasting spells in vanilla Minecraft. Alright guys, if you still want to stick around, I am going to showcase the Levitate, but it's only going to be a couple seconds, so if you're not going to, that's alright. Go ahead and hit that like button, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. I'm very happy to say we just hit above 5,000 subscribers on the channel, so we are growing. We're a growing community, and our Discord server is also growing. I think I haven't looked exactly, but I think we're above 200 members now on that, which is pretty quick from last week where we were. So we're growing quick, and we're having a good time learning about commands and just playing Minecraft together. So share with your friends, invite people to our community, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So for this brief example of the Levitate spell, what I'm going to be doing is giving myself infinite mana so I can show you guys how this spell works without having to worry about that. And pretty much the way it works is you cast it and you just levitate. And I've made it just long enough that you can get up on top of a building or on top of a tree that's not too tall and make it pretty much just a levitate spell and not a flying spell. So once you're up somewhere nice like this, as a mage, you can whip out a lightning bolt or a fireball and just start shooting people from a high vantage point, which is pretty awesome. Now, you can use this spell to sort of fly in vanilla Minecraft so long as you have enough mana to continuously cast it. So if I want to get to another building that's far away, I can jump and then cast that spell and start levitating towards where I want to go and just continuously cast it whenever I'm about to run out of levitation, and I'll be able to fly that way. Now, one cool feature is that you can also use this to protect yourself from fall damage. So if you're going to jump off a big cliff or something, right before you hit the ground, if you cast Levitate, you'll be able to levitate just above the ground and then land nice and gently, and that'll save you from taking damage. So that's a pretty cool feature for all the people who have a lot of mana and are willing to spend it flying around the server. And it looks pretty funny. Right now I'm in first person, but when you're playing with everybody else, we've had maybe 7 or 8 people on at once, and casting out these or trying out these spells, casting levitate and fireball and lightning and everything, and it's been pretty fun and crazy. Right now I do not have cooldowns, and so it's really obnoxious. You can just go crazy shooting out spells, and it's been a lot of fun. So anyways, guys, if you haven't joined the server yet, go ahead and use that IP that's down in the description, and I'd love to let you try these out for yourself. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.